Good Morning PD continues now on Live 95.
Welcome back to Good Morning PD Live 95 on a Wednesday morning. Thanks to our good friends at McCall Farms, 843-661-0937. We're joined today by Young Americans for Liberty President Cliff Maloney. Cliff is with us this morning to talk a little bit about a White House that has had issues with leaks, promising to crack down on leakers. For those of you who have been under a rock in the political universe for the past week or so, are familiar with the communication staffer during an internal meeting regarding the health of John McCain, said some very what I consider to be inappropriate things. They were leaked out of that meeting, made themselves or their way into the mainstream media. Obviously, that's become an issue. Trump has had an issue with leaking. Cliff, welcome to you. Good morning, sir, and thanks for your time this morning.
Sure, thanks for having me.
My question would be, obviously, leaks have been a part of American politics for a long, long time. Some administrations use them to their advantage, and then there are times they are very much to their disadvantage. Why are leaks so prevalent, in your opinion, in this particular White House?
Right. Well, I mean, let's look at a lot of the strategies and tactics that President Trump has used. I mean, he's created this entire process that he has of using Twitter, right, and using media in a way that is very different from any administration. So I think he's created an environment where, you know, the sound bites and the little comments or, you know, digging up the dirt, and a lot of this, to be honest with you, none of this is policy related. I mean, these are comments about a senator. You know, these aren't comments about, hey, here's how we're going to, you know, pass some sort of a budget, or here's how we're going to do this or that. It's focusing on personality things and little things that really get in the way. But that's been Trump's entire tactic when it comes to using Twitter. And I'm not saying that he said those types of vile things. What I'm saying is that he's created this type of environment where people are saying things to kind of not discredit, but to distract or to drum up the media in a way that has never really happened before. So I think this is a different type of White House. And so I think people are not incentivized, but there's much more of an interest from the media to get these types of things. And I think once they build relationships with staffers, these things get out.
Cliff, how many of these people that are privy to the sorts of communications and information, how many of these people are new with Trump, and how many are holdovers from previous administrations? I don't think people clearly understand the integration of people, how many people come on board with Trump, and how many people have been a part of the political structure for a while. We've got this belief from a distance that everybody in the White House is in lockstep with Donald Trump and his agenda. Explain to our listeners that's not always the case.
Oh, it's not the case at all. You know, at Young Americans for Liberty, we have quite a few alumni who work in the administration, and very often we hear some complaints about how, look, there are bureaucrats. These are D.C. swamp creatures that have been around for decades. And, you know, they make a lot of decisions. They have a lot of control. And as much as I think the president has brought in a lot of people from his team, you're exactly right. There's an infrastructure in place. And, you know, I mean, look, you'll never find any government program or any government department that, especially with somebody like Trump that's trying to drain the swamp, that is going to be honest about, you know, some of their shortcomings or really, you know, be in a position that they're okay and transparent about the fact that maybe we don't even need that department at all. You know, this is their livelihood. And the bureaucrat mess that is Washington, D.C., that's what Trump's got to deal with right now. So I think, you know, for the listeners out there, I mean, realize that, yeah, he does have, I'm sure, a lot of his people that are involved in making decisions, but a lot of the infrastructure, you know, this is establishment, long-time infrastructure of people who just want to see government grow. And so when you represent something that is threatening to that notion of seeing government grow, you're going to see some pushback. You're going to have some complications. And I think that's what Trump's dealing with right now.
Cliff, the most interesting dynamic to me is the fact that you've got a guy that is doing things in such a unique and different way, sometimes to his advantage, sometimes to his disadvantage. But you've got a media element that is still trying to treat him as if the traditional rules of American politics apply. Are we in a media reset? Are we seeing the invention right before our very eyes of a different way a president can interact with people that try to hold him accountable?
Absolutely. I mean, exactly what you said. I mean, this is something that he's transforming in a way that I think people will look back 5-10 years from now and say, wow, because people can access information. And look, that's for better and for worse. I mean, there's some information out there that, my gosh, it's garbage and it kind of goes against everything that's the American ideal, and people still are getting it. But you're exactly right. People can access and see information. They're not just getting sound bites in their local newspaper anymore. Through Trump tweeting, through a lot of elected officials and a lot of figureheads being able to get their message out. I think Trump, has kind of been a leader on this, and that he's the president of the United States doing it. But I think he's kind of pushed back all of the barriers and all of those kind of predispositions of this is what a president has to be, and this is how a message has to get out through the media. And I think he works the media in certain ways, sometimes to his success, sometimes to his detriment. And I think, once again, he's created this environment where people are looking to get anything they can because it's all about that headline. But I think you're right. I think he has created this new type of way forward, and the media is transitioning, and people are opening up their eyes. They're not just going to get these 6 o'clock news at night, listen to 30 minutes of that, and then, okay, on with their day. I think people are more engaged. They're able to find different sources, different viewpoints, and I think that open discourse, in my opinion, will lead to more people saying, you know what, maybe the government's not always the answer to our problems. Maybe we, the people, through the free market, should be solving those things, and I think he's paved the way for that.
Well, you and I are very much in agreement with that. Our last question is more of an offering to you to explain exactly what Young Americans for Liberty is.
Absolutely. So we work exclusively on college campuses to build chapters. We've got 900 of those across the country. And what we do is we really focus on getting the message of the Constitution to college students. I probably don't have to tell you twice that they need to hear it. They're not quite getting in the classroom. So we're out there. We did over 3,000 college recruitment events last year, and we're trying to reach people, trying to get them back from the brink of socialism and getting them to do what I just said, to realize that government is not always the answer. A lot of these young people, I'll tell you, every time there's a problem, they say to themselves, how can government, they've been kind of programmed to say this, how can government be the answer to our problems? And we like to argue it can't. It can't. You don't need to turn to a government committee or a government program to fix what you're trying to do. We can do it as people, through our communities, through the free market, and as individuals. So we're promoting that message on campus. Really, really honored to be able to lead the organization. And we're trying to fight back when it comes to, let's say, Democrat control of the 18 to 24 age bracket. And we're seeing a lot of success. Polling will show, people are really moving to that limited government mindset.
Cliff, thank you very much for your time. Very informative. Have a good day.
All right, take care.
Absolutely.